The tuning rebounded and affected 1 week instead.
Point in hiding it from you anymore. Miss Ting-Yun is originally from this... Yes, a genius got involved. She's very accomplished in the field of life sciences and managed to grant Penacony along the way, partly to allow her some time to convalesce.
I'd be affected if I hid inside a dream. I didn't expect so many mishaps to happen.
That's alright. So long as nobody was hurt. Can I get something to drink? I feel like I've been asleep for 10 years.
That's fine. We should find another place to talk anyway. We drew some attention with that commotion earlier.
So glad again. I'm a local, you know.
You'll have to make do.
In any case, I must thank their assistance.
It was nothing. Now that the matter with Miss Ting-Yun is resolved, are we meeting your other 2 companions next?
There's no need for that. Mr. 1 Week is in poor condition, so able to handle any decisions should you run into any difficulties.
Okay, we better hurry then. It's ridiculous! How come I keep bumping into colleagues? Shall we keep going then? Did you forget already?
I'm not too familiar with this planet.
As if a merchant could seriously take advantage of you.
I already picked up a few gifts earlier, so that means there's only 3 more left to go. But we've already lost a lot of time, so we'd better not drag our feet.
Welcome. How can I help you?
Hello there. It's my first time visiting the Dreamscape, so I wanted to buy some local specialties as souvenirs for my friends back home. My 2 friends here are more familiar with the Dreamscape and recommended your shop, so I'm here to take a look.
Why, you really know how to flatter. Go ahead. Browse all you like.
First we have Lady Fu Xuan of the Divination Commission. What do you think best suits her? Lady Fu Xuan has such refined taste. The Xianzhou really has changed a lot in the time I've been asleep. Let's go with your suggestion. Next is General Jing Yuan.
decision to make.
That's the kind of treasure I've always yearned for. But the General's position won't allow him to accept such a gift. Come to Clock Studios theme park to learn more about the history of the planet of festivities. I think the General will like this gift. Finally, we have Lady Bailu of the Alchemy Commission. She loves excitement. That's a good idea. It might be commonplace, but it's still the specialty of Penacony. It would make for an ideal gift to bring home. That's all of them. Please wrap them up for me. Thanks to both your help, everything went smoother than I expected. And it looks like we still have some time to spare.
Why don't we pay another visit to the Dreamscape sales store? You can find memory bubbles pretty much anywhere. But Penacony's dream bubbles are extraordinary. Even if we don't get them as gifts, we can keep them as souvenirs for ourselves.
A souvenir for myself? That's definitely an idea I can get behind. But there's one more thing I wish to do. Since this is our last stop, could I have a word with you two in private? Perhaps somewhere more secluded. I'd like to discuss a personal matter.
Everything you want, we have it all.
This is a good spot.
Miss Ting Yoon, what's this about?
You've looked out for me during our travels together these past few days. I'm truly grateful and can't thank you enough. But there are some things I find difficult to forget. I feel it's only right that I tell you what's on my mind before we part ways. Do you two still remember what it was like when you first saw me?
How could we forget? He was so shocked. He was frozen in place when he shouted.
Exactly. And that's precisely why I haven't been able to shake off this strange feeling in the days since I started traveling with you. When I asked for your names, I couldn't help but think that this first encounter was actually a long-awaited reunion for you. I've heard about what happened to you on the Xianzhou. And I've got to admit that Phantilia's disguise was so perfect, it was like another me tricking everyone.
Yeah, we couldn't even tell when you were replaced by Phantilia. I figured it happened when we were after Kafka. You vanished for a while. I thought you must have come back as a double.
But it was much earlier than that. That thought has me filled with sorrow. As if a piece of my life had been stolen away. and I had no part in it. That's what I've been puzzled about, too. I never actually saw how Fantilia managed to disguise herself as me. What was your impression of that Tingyun, if you recall? That's just the nature of the Foxians. It's widely known that mystery is the key to our allure. So, what did she seem like to you? I'll just assume that's a compliment. Maybe next time you could just say silver-tongued. Was there anything particularly memorable?
That's true. I'd love to learn how you do it.
Now the final question. In your eyes, am I just like the Tingyun you remember?
Wait, don't you find that question a bit weird? You're the real Tingyun. Why compare yourself to an imposter?
Miss March, you might have the wrong idea. I'm just feeling a mix of regret and relief.
Uh-huh.
As a merchant, staying well-informed is crucial. It's only natural for me to stay updated on the events of the Luofu before I return. If I had rushed in and out back then, I wouldn't have been much help. Instead, I would have postponed the trip and sought assistance from allies, but in that case...
We wouldn't have crossed paths.
Exactly. Based on your description, that Lord Ravager was indeed cunning. Her demeanor mirrored mine so closely that it felt like she was living my life for a few days, rather than merely disguising herself. I regret missing out on your Sanzhou journey. But everything that unfolded afterward, aside from the scheming, played out exactly as if I'd been there. This leads me to consider another possibility. Fantilia had stolen a piece of my life, and a Foxian always gets even. I will not be taken advantage of. I must take something back from her as well. But after thinking it over, the only thing that could be considered equal value is the bond I have with all of you. That thought has brought me great comfort. And now I know how to speak to you properly. We've never even met before, and here you are, offering your help, just as before. I should have treated you with respect, but fear of Phantilia made me act like somebody else. And now, I will reclaim everything I have lost. And it should begin with a proper acknowledgement. Dear benefactors, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to you. Looks like we're off to a good start. Moving forward, I'll definitely be trying more things like this from now on. And you, my dear benefactors, will be my source of courage.
Miss Ting-Yoon, that's way too over the top. Just don't make any risky decisions. It might overwhelm him.
We'll see. I just hope the Ting-Yoon in your memories won't be tainted by Phantilia anymore. Alright, no more questions. I hope I didn't take up too much of your time. Let's continue on our way.
Welcome to the Dreamscape Sales Store. Dr. Edward at your service.
We're looking for some dreams to give as gifts. Something exotic and preferably captivating.
Just a friendly reminder, being too picky won't help you find the best dream. Just to dampen your spirits ahead of time. being said, there are always some lucky exceptions. And not too long ago I procured a dream bubble that sounds perfectly. The story unfolds in the Shenzhou Alliance, and a young swordmaster strives to become the sword champion. However, this junior Foxian sword just turned 100, puts him in a tough spot.
Why does that sound oddly familiar?
Since I'm returning to the Xianzhou, I think it's better to choose something unrelated to the Alliance. Feel free to pick a few for me.
I love customers like you. So easy to work.
So easy to take advantage of, you mean? Just don't pick anything weird, okay?
Oh, speaking of dreamscapes, I have a gift for you, my benefactors. After troubling you all this time, I couldn't leave without properly expressing my thanks. Here's a dream bubble for you. I hope you enjoy it.
Wow. That's really nice of you.
Here are the dream bubbles I prepared for you. Thank you for your business.
Well, it looks like everything's finally in order. I suppose it's time to head back?
Friend? Please excuse me. I struggle to think of an appropriate way of addressing such esteemed guests as yourself. You must be here to experience those dream bubbles. I've already made the necessary preparations. Be careful. We did pass the safety inspection stipulated by 27 first Article 076. This dreamscape will feature unfiltered and unpolished fresh water. It will make for a very vivid experience. Veteran people call this type of dream a thrill dream. I don't know if you're into that kind of thing. If you feel any discomfort, please leave the dreamscape immediately and seek professional help. Luckily, I just so happen to be an excellent doctor. Albeit a psychiatric. Let us begin. Please, close your eyes and rest your forehead on the dream. Oh, yes. I nearly forgot. That elegant girl mentioned something before she left.
The nature of this memory is special. Don't ruin the dreamscape experience for anyone else by spoiling the ending. In my estimation, there's no question about it. This is murder.
Murder. Such a foreign word to us. The people of Penacony could never come to any harm while under the watchful protection of the family. In a dream, even if you're bashed 1,000 times with a hammer, at worst you'll still wake up in reality in a hotel.
Not necessarily. Even if the result does not constitute harm, the criminal intent is clear enough. You specifically came here to cordon off the scene because of the unsavory nature of this case, right?
You're not wrong. Even if there are no casualties, being smashed over the head with a hammer in the middle of the street for no reason at all? This is not the kind of thing that happens on Penacony. You are guests of the Oak family, so you may investigate the crime scene. I'll be on standby over here.
Are you a witch? Just how did you manage to convince them in the blink of an eye that we're some kind of detectives?
Just some suggestions at the memory level. If something happens in everybody's memory, then that something becomes a fact. If we had a little more time, I could have even convinced her I was Shipe the Harmony. Then, on to the next order of business. Let's discuss your companion, shall we?
Memo Keeper of the Garden of Recollection. I've been watching you for quite some time. You stole a glance at me when you first entered the hotel. You followed me wherever I went inside the dreamscape. In the windows along the commercial street. In the pond water reflections of the Idean Park. Even in the reflections of the wine glass. Everywhere. My dear, do you have a crush on me? Well then, seeing as you're so interested in me, let's play a little game. I left a puzzle for you near OT Mall. Solve it and prove that you're capable of pleasing me. Don't leave me waiting, my dear. Before Penacony gets flipped upside down, try to find me, catch me, and stop me.
There's actually more than one memo keeper who's come to Penacony. She's mixed me up with someone else. But no harm, no foul. The address that the mask gave you is right here. But you never would have thought that when Miss Sparkle mentioned a game, she was talking about wanton slaughter on the streets of Penacony. Such a direct act of provocation is enough to get my competitive side worked up too.
Madam, forgive me. I had no idea about anything she said. As you saw, I went through a brain scan and everything. I'm just a friend, helping her deliver a letter, that's all. I never knew this was actually a declaration of warfare. They say you shouldn't kill the messenger. So, maybe you can just, let me go. You all are the big shots here. I'm really not on your level.
What a frightened look you have. Don't worry. Since this has nothing to do with you, I won't be suspecting you of anything. Why don't you come take a stroll with me?
Oh, seems like I can't escape being an assistant detective. Oh, fine. It's all fine. No big deal.
Anything you'd like to know, please ask away. IPC employee named Shamari. Eyewitnesses reported that a tall, strong man wearing a large robe with long sleeves walked right past Shamari, and suddenly...
Afraid by the time we find him, half of Penacony will have been sent back to reality by Spark.
Looks like we'll have to play this little game of Sparkles then.
Lady Black Swan, you're here! I'm the constable, and this here assisting me is the bailiff for this case.
Mr. Cold Feet, why'd you do it?
So they can talk after all. Miss Black Swan, they're heading straight for you.
Don't interrupt, I wasn't talking to you. I understand Lady Black Swan has quite the intellect. I'm sure...
The Sparkle murder case? Wasn't the victim Shamar from the IPC?
You're wrong, Lady Black Swan. The victim is evidently none other than the matriarch of the Goldhammer family, Miss Sparkle Goldhammer.
Oh, I guess Miss Sparkle has written herself into the skit here, and this has nothing to do with the actual case. Goldhammer? Is that her real surname?
Never heard of it. Sounds made up. Sparkle doesn't sound like a real name either.
Miss Sparkle was supposed to receive 3 valiant warriors at the Goldhammer residence today. Upon their arrival, all they found was her body. Miss Sparkle had been smashed over the head by a hammer and died on the spot. Such a brutal act of violence.
My investigations discovered that the 3 warriors were supposed to escort supplies back to their territory the day before, but they were unexpectedly ambushed by the Annihilation Gang. They narrowly escaped and barely got away with their lives, finding their supplies almost completely raided. So they all shared a motive for killing Miss Sparkle: to escape punishment.
So the 3 of them teamed up to kill her.
Is the case closed?
No, there can only be one murderer. It's not an unsolved mystery if there are 3. Hang on. Wait.
If you can't justify, don't bother.
Got it! Those 3 were all vying against each other to be number 2. They couldn't have cooperated on anything. So it must have been one of them acting alone.
That actually doesn't make much sense. Even if they were on bad terms.
Please begin your investigation, Lady Black Swan. There are lots of clues at the crime scene that are sure to help you apprehend the real culprit.
I've got the case file right here. If you want to learn more about the suspects, talk to me. Lady Black Swan, allow me to introduce the 3 suspects to you. Lefton, Zhongshan, and Bright. Lefton is one of Miss Sparkle's chief lieutenants, whose right hand was unfortunately severed while he was valiantly fighting off the Annihilation Gang. He's now learning how to write and hold a fork with his left hand. How tough that must be! Then there's Zhongshan. This guy's a coward who ran away as soon as a group spotted some bandits along the road. He ended up smashing into the side of a cliff and getting his face disfigured. It's a real shame, as he used to be one of the rare handsome men left around town. Last of all comes Wright. This guy was so insatiably greedy that he still came back to try and embezzle the rest of the supplies after they narrowly escaped with their lives, lying about how the gang had taken off with everything. Lefton and Zhongshan were so incensed that they broke his legs.
Hang on, I'm confused here. Left on? Right? Is this some kind of joke?
What? Where did you get that idea from? Do you need me to go over it all again?
Got it. But it sounds like Mr. Assistant Detective has his own misgivings. Would you like to go over it again?
Lefton is one of Miss Sparkle's chief lieutenants, whose right hand was unfortunately severed while he was valiantly fighting off the Annihilation Gang. He's now learning how to write and hold a fork with his left hand. How tough that must be! Then there's Zhongshan. This guy's a coward who ran away as soon as a group spotted some bandits along the road. He ended up smashing into the side of a cliff and getting his face disfigured. It's a real shame, as he used to be one of the rare men left around town. Last of all comes Wright. This guy was so insatiably greedy that he still came back to try and embezzle the rest of the supplies after they narrowly escaped with their lives, lying about how the gang had taken off with everything. Lefton and Zhongshan were so incensed that they broke his legs. That's all the intel we have on the 3 suspects.
Memories seem to be different again.
Look! An ID card. Talent motivation Mari. Is this the victims?
Mr. Shamari's belongings should have disappeared alongside him as he woke from the dreamscape. The fact that this ID is here means Miss Sparkle placed it here on purpose to prove that she definitely attacked someone.
Holy moly! This hammer is super heavy! This must be the murder weapon for the Sparkle murder case!
Miss Sparkle also used it to attack Mr. Shamari.
I'm barely able to lift this using both hands! I have no idea how Sparkle could ever use this to hit a target! Did you pop out?
The two pieces of evidence that you found are related to the attack on Shamari. Miss Sparkle didn't leave them lying around for no reason. They're clues to the puzzle. But there are still some other clues that were placed in other areas, so they won't spoil the crime scene.
Isn't that a bit unnecessary?
No. It's disruptive to have a stack of irrelevant things crowding a crime scene. Miss Sparkle is a law-abiding citizen who'd never bring extra trouble to the family.
Seems quite nice of her, if you ask me.
Looks like Miss Sparkle is adding a little spice to the investigation. Let's take her up on her offer, then. Mr. Assistant Detective, this way. Discard your worthless desk. Memories seem to be different again. Guard your worthless destiny. What's this list here for? Could you please let me know? It looks like a little button.
Don't push it, Lady Black Swan. Whatever you do, don't push it! That's the mutually assured destruction button that Miss Sparkle installed. Once pushed, Miss Sparkle and the entirety of Penacony will instantaneously go up in smoke. Miss Sparkle has her own button. The second she pushes hit, you and the entirety of Penacony will instantaneously go up in smoke.
That sounds like both buttons can do the exact same thing.
Correct. Exactly the same.
Oh,
Aren't you going to ask me why?
okay. Why?
Because she is fair.
This is nuts! What's this? A plush toy?
Regardless of why it's designed to look like the conductor aboard the Astral Express, this doll, is it connected to the case?
Have you ever heard of something called a red herring in detective stories? It's a fake clue that leads you down the wrong path.
I see. But when it's so obvious, doesn't that defeat the purpose?
That's just in case you didn't realize the ingenuity of Miss Sparkle and were worried about her throwing out a random, useless clue.
I see. Thank you for your keen insight. Then, let's pretend we were misled by a red herring. This doll. Could it be connected to the case?
You don't have to play along that hard, you know.
This notice seems like a hint for us from Miss Sparkle.
That sounded like a story from ancient times. And ignition systems suddenly go out.
This is so her style, isn't it? Like there are any more clues. Let's head back to the crime scene.
Next, should we pin down the identity of the perpetrator? This evidence, I've been staring at it all day, but there's nothing that can identify the perp. Lefton, that guy lost his hand. Remember Zhongshan's face was disfigured after the incident at the cliff? Right? I remember this one best. Wright has a broken leg.
Why don't we flip her? After all, there are only 3 suspects, so elimination could be a valid method.
If you put it like that, then do you already have someone in mind? Tell me, come on.
So, who exactly is the murderer? Remember Zhongshan's face was disfigured after the incident at the cliff? Right? that so? I feel like the evidence... Oh, is that so? Oh, is that so?
Poor guy. He was seriously injured and was all wrapped up in bandages to keep his good looks safe. If that's the case, then he couldn't have... That would suggest that Zhongshan is not the murderer.
So, who exactly... I remember this one best. Oh, is that so? I feel like the evidence doesn't really match. How about you think it over? Oh, is that so? I feel like the evidence doesn't really match. How about you think it over again? Oh, is that so? I feel like the evidence doesn't really match. How about you think it over again? Is that so? I feel like the evidence doesn't really match. How about you think... Oh, is that so? I feel like the evidence... Oh, is that so? I feel like the evidence... Oh, is that so? I feel like the evidence...
So, who exactly it...
Lefton, that guy lost... Oh, is that so? Oh, is that so? Oh, is that so?
Based on the bailiff's statement, Lefton's dominant hand was seriously injured to the point where he had to learn how to live using only his left hand. Lefton's suspicion level can...
By process of elimination, it seems that only
Please begin your investigation, Lady Black Swan. There are clues at that crime scene that are sure to help you apprehend the real culprit.
The murderer is right.
You have answered correctly! As expected, you didn't disappoint, Lady Black Swan. Game rules stipulate I must tell you where the next puzzle is.
Huh? The next puzzle? I didn't sign up for this.
Looks like the key to winning lies not in the puzzle itself, but in the motives behind Miss Sparkle's strange behavior. I'm afraid this chase may just go on forever.
I have to remind you that Sparkle is a masked fool? Do you plan on finding logic in the mind of a masked fool?
That's exactly what I plan on doing. Even if it's just subjective, there must be an overall principle behind the behavior. Memories cannot lie, and hers may just understand more about her than she does herself. Right now, let's follow her. I hope this time we can get ahead of the Bloodhound family. I want to try and avoid using my...
So why are you so focused on Sparkle's challenge? Or should I ask, are you more focused on Sparkle herself?
I told you, it's purely out of a spirit of competitiveness. And as a memo keeper, I also have to fulfill my responsibilities and harvest some interesting memories.
Whoa, this place is a complete mess.
Oh, Detective Black Swan, you finally made it!
We don't know what we'd do without your help.
Why are you talking like that? Is this some sort of artistic performance that young people are into these days?
Is there something wrong with the way we are talking? Deputy Sheriff, am I talking in a strange way? Oh, of course not, Sheriff. The way you talk names the apple tree in my grandma's backyard.
Huh.
Business magnate named Sparkle.
Her again? Sparkle really is obsessed with scripting her own death.
Oh, for the laughter. If you undercut me one more time, I swear I'm gonna kick you in the butt. Miss Sparkle came to the fashion store to buy herself a brand new tie. She didn't come back out. After a long time, the shopkeeper went in to see what was going on, but instead discovered Miss Sparkle's body. She had been strangled to death. There were 3 suspects on the scene, namely a Papashi shopkeeper named Wright, a Foxian gambler named Zhongshan, and a wealthy Intellitron trader called Lefton.
Our old friends.
It's not just to aid your memory. We've added more descriptions to help tell them apart. Miss Sparkle is so gracious. Based on surveillance footage, witness testimony, and various pieces of evidence, the killer is ultimately among these 3.
You're too lazy.
Oh, for the laughter! If I talk any more with you, it'll make my pure soul filthy! Detective Black Swan, the dossiers are over here. You can learn more about the suspects from me. I trust you'll be able to cut through the hogwash and find out who Miss Sparkle's killer is. Let me introduce the identities of these suspects to you. It's very straightforward. First, he's one of the Papashi people and only stands as tall as Sparkle's waist, which is often a source of teasing for him. Next up, you have the merchant Lefton. He wants to join up with the Penacony Trading Guild and is in direct competition with Miss Sparkle. Finally, there is the gambler Zhongshan. He lost a bet to Miss Sparkle, and that's all the information we have. You need me to repeat?
That won't be necessary. I remember it all. And there's the tie.
That skit before said that...
The tag on the tie...
That's not how you...
There's an accounting book lying on the ground. It must have been specially placed there by...
On the title page is written Chen Katong. Is that someone's name? Oh! I think it's the name of the owner of this book!
This Jian Katong person should be Sparkle's targeted victim this time around.
So, it's just like the first case then. Only 2 pieces of evidence. The rest hidden inside her memories again, right?
Miss Sparkle doesn't want to distract your investigation.
She doesn't want to distract our investigation? What a law-abiding citizen this Sparkle is. Why doesn't she surrender then?